I think the Seahawks had a solid offseason. I want to be very critical of it as a Seahawks fan, but overall, I think it was pretty good. But I'll tell you exactly what I think of it in just a second. But super quick, massive shout out to Brian Petrowski for the suggestion of today's video. Go drop him a sub. Their link is in the description. And of course, if you want a shout out just like that one, all you gotta do is let me know what team to do next. And then of course, when I pick your comment, I'll give you a shout out, tell everyone to go sub to you, and of course, I'll rebuild the team you want me to, so it's a win-win-win. But again, let's shoot for just 120 likes on this video if we can hit that, which I know we easily can. I'll have another one of these out on Tuesday. Maybe the Titans, maybe the Steelers, I don't know. We'll see. And we did hit the sub goal on the last video. Thank you for 3,050 subs. Slowly growing to 4K. Let's see if we can get to 3,100. Most of my viewers aren't even subscribed, so if you're not already, be sure to subscribe. Helps out a ton. Trying to hit 4K soon, so I'd appreciate it a ton. And imagine if everyone liked and subscribed, we would be at like 3,500 subs just off this video. Over 1,000 likes. It would be ridiculous, so if you do it, we will hit it. I know I plug way too much, but I appreciate it a ton. And last thing, turn on notifications if you want to be one of the first people to ever see these videos and make sure that you never miss one. Of course, gonna be doing all these rebuilds with rookies, and I'm glad y'all are enjoying them. But that's enough plugging. Of course, get your drinks, get your snacks, get whatever. It's gonna be a challenging rebuild today. And let me tell you what I think of what this Seahawks team did this offseason. So obviously, you kind of started everything off with the re-signing of Geno Smith as a Geno Smith truther. I love it. Through the first half of the year, there was genuinely an argument that he was like a top 3 quarterback. He led like every stat in the NFL. He was first in the league in like big time throws and all that kind of shit. And in classic Seahawks fashion, the play calling started getting weird, players started getting hurt, and his play fell off a little bit in the second half of the year for sure. But through the first half, he was very good. People always used to clown on Russ for like kind of being a first half of the year MVP, but I think Geno doing the same thing just kind of proves that it's not really on the QB here. The play calling always gets super weird in the second half of the year because there will be one bad game and Pete Carroll will just be like, okay, we got to overhaul everything. At least that's what it seems like. I don't know for sure, but that's just really what it seems like every single year. But like I said, I am a very big Geno truther, and I don't get why some people don't like that they re-signed him. It wasn't even that big of a contract. I mean, the Giants gave Daniel Jones like $40 million a year. Fuck that. I'm taking Geno for like 35 every day of the week. They didn't really do much in free agency though. I mean, you brought Bobby Wagner back, which is cool, but he definitely is older. The Rams definitely protected his play last year, didn't allow him to go into coverage too much. It almost looked like watching old Blake Martinez play where he would just kind of stand there and let things come to him, but we'll see what he can do here. You also signed Julian Love, which I'm alright with. It was a good signing. I hate that they fucking cut Ryan Neal though. I don't understand that. Or they didn't cut him, but they just took his tender back or whatever the hell. I don't know. Honestly, I really don't love the Draymond Jones signing. I just thought it was too much money. I've said it once, I'll say it again. I predicted almost down to the exact details that the Seahawks would sign him. I predicted, obviously before there was any rumor that the Seahawks would actually get him, I predicted they would sign him to a 3-year, $45 million deal. They signed him to like 3 years, 51. I know this team too well. I know them way too well. A lot of Seahawks fans like this signing because he's a good highlight player. He's just really inconsistent. If you watch highlights for anybody, you're gonna see a good player. That's just how it is. You can't watch highlights to see how good somebody is. I can't believe I have to explain this, but he's just very inconsistent. However, he could be really good. He hasn't reached anywhere near his ceiling yet. If the Seahawks can continue to develop him, he could turn into a really good player and make that signing look good. We'll have to see. And that's about everything they did for free agency. They signed Evan Brown, which I like, but that's a tiny move. But in the draft, I am good with what they did. I don't love their draft as much as most people do. I think the Devin Witherspoon pick was good. I think he's a very, very good player, but also this defensive line is kind of icky. I feel like Jalen Carter was staring you right in the face. I mean, of course, character concerns, but like, he was arguably the best player in the class, ignoring off-field issues. And I feel like what you could have done is just kept Woolen as the one, moved Kobe Bryant to the outside where he's much better. He's terrible in coverage in the slot. I even like Trey Brown. He looked really good his rookie year when he came in. And then I feel like you could have just moved like Julian Love to the slot or something. But I am definitely cool with the Devin Witherspoon pick. He was clearly the #1 corner in the class. He's a very good player. And the duo of him and Tariq Woolen is going to be disgusting. But like I was saying, I just wish they addressed this interior defensive line more. Cameron Young, I think they overdrafted in the 4th round. I was screaming at them to pick Siaki Ika, who slipped to like the late 3rd, early 4th somewhere, and they traded back, and then the Browns picked him, so I was pissed. I did like the Mike Morris pick, though. The Derek Hall pick, you already have so many developmental edges here, but I do think he's a good player. Like, I don't hate it. I just feel like they don't give their developmental guys enough playing time. I don't know. And then, of course, they drafted Jackson Smith and Jigba in the 1st round, which I think 20 is about where he was supposed to go. I don't think it was such a crazy steal. I think it was good value for sure, and I think he will be really good here because he'll be kind of left open a lot of the time because you have DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett here to draw a ton of attention. The interior offensive line picks were solid. I didn't think they needed to address the interior as much as most people did because I actually believe in Phil Haynes and Evan Brown. Both have looked good when they've gotten opportunities, but this just kind of ensures it more with Oluwatimi and Anthony Bradford. Bradford was a little bit of a reach, but it was a fine pick. I actually liked the Zach Charbonnet pick a lot more than Seahawks fans did. I think people are forgetting that the Seahawks were down to Tony Jones as the starter last year, who was like 5th or 6th string. We fucking needed a running back. We do not want a repeat of that. And I do like Zach Charbonnet. He doesn't have like crazy upside. He could be like a top 15 to 20 running back-ish, maybe a little higher. And I also do like the Kenny McIntosh replacement, or the Kenny McIntosh pick. He was basically the Travis Homer replacement. I do think Kenny McIntosh is a better player, though. I always thought Travis Homer was just meh. So that's a lot of talking about this team. I just know this team more than I know any team in the NFL, clearly, because it is my favorite team. Overall, I would give their offseason a B+. If they addressed the interior defensive line more, it would be like an A-. I just really don't love the group there right now. I think we're going to get run over by teams with good running backs. Like, it's not going to be pretty. But long team breakdown over. I want to get into this rebuild. So with that, let's get to the midseason point of year #1 and see if there are any scenarios first, but we'll probably just simulate there. That was a weird way to explain what I'm going to do. You know what I mean. Let's get to the midseason. So we have a wide receiver mentor for Jackson Smith and Jigba from Tyler Lockett. Let's just go however you can help. I don't really know what to upgrade for him, so we'll just give him a little bit of XP. He's young enough where that XP will hopefully get him close to a full upgrade. And we have a training camp standout here. It is gonna be Draymond Jones. Let's go just stopping the run for him. He's a speed rusher scheme, and if we go +5 there, it'll make him not a scheme fit. So we'll just give him the +5 run defense. Sounds good to me. Okay, so at the midseason point of year #1, we're chilling at 3-4, which honestly is maybe good for this team. These are my custom rosters, so I was thinking, hey, maybe I'll be a little biased with the Seahawks. Maybe I'll make them a little higher than they should, but I guess I apparently did not do that, because we're a 77 overall, so 3-4 is pretty good for being a 77 overall. But we have some re-signings here. I'm guessing there isn't really anybody here. I mean, we could re-sign Nick Bellore. I guess we'll do that. He takes it. Mike Jackson, I feel like he's fairly overrated in real life by some Seahawks fans. He's solid in run defense, but his coverage is a bit iffy, we'll just say that. I feel like Devin Witherspoon is just an overall upgrade from what Mike Jackson was last year. So I see why the Seahawks like Devin Witherspoon, because they liked Mike Jackson. They just like corners who are good in run defense, I guess. That's their new thing. So I mean, re-signing Mike Jackson would just be redundant at this point, unless we just want him as a decent backup. And other than that, I mean, it's just a ton of other backups here, so I think we're good. But I'll spend these upgrades, set the focus scouting and all that, and let's get to the end of year #1 and see how we can finish. So at the end of year #1, we finished 7-10, of course not making the playoffs. We are up to an 80 overall though, which is surprising. I guess it makes sense because this team does have a lot of good, or not a lot of good players, but a lot of young players who will develop throughout the year. But for season stats, Geno Smith did okay. 4,300 yards, 34 touchdowns, 12 picks. Not a bad year. Honestly, really similar to his year this year in real life, just worse completion percentage. For real life, this would be good, but for Madden, it's fine. It's pretty good. good. Kenneth Walker had a good year number 2. It still says he's a rookie because obviously you can't go a year in the future if you want like actual rookies in your teams. You can't use custom rosters and go a year in the future, which is stupid, but it is what it is. But Kenneth Walker, almost 1,200 yards, 4.5 yards per carry, 13 touchdowns. Receiving DK Metcalf with 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns. JSN with over 1,000 yards as a rookie and 10 touchdowns. Tyler Lockett, 800 yards, 6 touchdowns. Noah Fant, 700 yards, 3 touchdowns. Blocking was solid overall. This is where this gets weird, and I'm gonna have to be 100% honest. This is a re-recording. The original year 1 I recorded, my recording software did a weird thing that I've never seen before, where the entire time it recorded my audio, but it was like stuck on a picture of us versus the Cowboys. It was stuck in like week 1 of the preseason or whatever that would have been, so I had to re-record it because it fucked it up. I did end up replacing Oluwatimi because in that recording he allowed like 8 sacks in his rookie year, but here he only allowed 1, so it doesn't make as much sense to replace him, but I did. But overall the line was solid. Abe Lucas was much better here than he was in year 1. Damian Lewis was awful. Charles Cross wasn't great. Anthony Bradford was good. Oh my god. Okay, defensively, 135 tackles for Jordan Brooks, 129 for Bobby Wagner, 111 for Jamal Adams. Tackles for loss, we had 14 from Uchenna Nwosu, 11 from Draymond Jones, 10 from Derek Hall, and sacks, 15.5 from Uchenna Nwosu, 5 from Bobby Wagner, good lord. And then outside of those two, literally nothing. Draymond Jones with 2.5. The last year 1, he had 20 tackles for loss and like 7.5 sacks. This year he had next to none. Yeah, outside of the really Nwosu, there was nobody who was really good in terms of sacks. In interceptions, 4 for Bobby Wagner, 3 for Devin Witherspoon, 2 for Julian Love, and 1 for a few players. So yeah, I'm sorry to break the fourth wall of all that I had to re-record this, but it wouldn't have made sense for me to replace Oluwatimi after allowing only 1 sack. Just know that he was terrible in the first year. Like one of the worst seasons I've ever seen. Like 8 sacks from a center is disgusting. But here, this is also disgusting. Well, not too bad to start off with, but Joe Burrow wins MVP here. Carson Wentz on the Falcons is at number 4. Hey, this could happen if Carson Wentz somehow went back to his old form, because people forget that he was like amazing in 2017 and probably would have won MVP if he didn't get injured. That was obviously the year that Nick Foles came in and won the Super Bowl, but Carson Wentz got hurt against like the Rams or something and he was never the same again. Also, I just want to say this, Bryce Young won MVP in the last sim we did in year 1. It's more realistic that he didn't win it here as a rookie. Offensive player of the year goes to Cooper Kupp, the white boy, as per usual, and Aaron Donald, so some things never change. That was the same. Uchenna Nwosu at number 4. Bobby Okereke on the Giants, that's fun. Bobby Wagner at number 7. Offensive rookie of the year goes to Bijan Robinson over Bryce Young, that's surprising. JSN at number 7. Kenneth Walker at number 10, but he shouldn't be up there, he's not a rookie anymore. And defensive rookie of the year goes to Jack Campbell, basically. Holy shit, the Lions. They top 3 with Aiden Hutchinson, Jack Campbell, and Malcolm Rodriguez. Devin Witherspoon at number 5. So overall, pretty decent first year considering how bad our team was. I made sure that we had the same record. We did go 7-10 in year 1, but the difference was every other team was 9-8 or 8-9 in our division, so it was a very winnable division. It was the division of mid, everyone around 500. So I guess instead of getting last like we did in year 1, we got 3rd. So fuck the Cardinals, I guess. That's a fun Super Bowl. The Bills take down the Cowboys 38-15. Those are 2 very good rosters, so I could maybe see that, but both of them kind of have their flaws. The Bills their offensive line definitely holds them back. I think they did make decent moves to fix it this year. Like they stole Osiris Torrance in the draft, right? Are they the ones that got Osiris Torrance? I think they are. That's disgusting. They also signed like Connor McGovern. They signed like a lot of interior offensive linemen. I think they needed a tackle, but it is what it is. And then the Cowboys, just kind of coaching is holding them back. I think Mike McCarthy's terrible, but we'll see. Both of those teams definitely have the roster talent, but they both do definitely have their flaws. So for re-signings here, we're not going to bring anybody back. I mean, it's just a bunch of backups. We could bring Mike Jackson back, but we could find other options. I don't remember what I did in the actual year 1, where I don't think I re-signed him and I don't want to here, so we'll let all these players go and let's see what we can do with a good amount of money in free agency. I believe the only move I made in year 1 was for a player that is not currently here. I'm gonna have to like trade for him, cut him, and fucking sign him. I'm absolutely just taking a paper shredder to the fourth wall right now, but like, who cares? My videos are jank anyways, y'all know that. Y'all accept that. Okay, so the one player we did go for is Jadeveon Clowney. He's much more expensive here. He's like 20 million per year. He does make more sense here though, because we had Uchenna Nwosu do really well, but we had nobody outside him even get like any pressure except Bobby Wagner, but that's not Bobby Wagner's game. Well, it is his game. He's a really good blitzer, but he's not an edge. So we are gonna try to bring Jadeveon Clowney in here. We have a full level offer. We're the only team interested in him so far because, I mean, we just cut him to put him into free agency. So let's try to sign him, and it looks like he does sign. So everything worked out. Again, sorry for absolutely just lighting the fourth wall on fire, but that's it for post-recording Brandon the Simp. Get back to the regular recording me, and I'll see y'all in the draft. We actually have another wide receiver mentorship for Jackson Smith and Jigba. We'll just go however you can help again. Tyler Lockett doing the Lord's work out here, 1200 more XP. You'll love to see it. Here is a look at the team heading into year number 2 of the rebuild. We honestly have a really nice roster already, up to an 81 overall. We have an 83 overall offense. I feel like the Madden overall system is weird because I don't really see how this is an 83, but this is only a 79. Like, we only have 2 players worse than a 79 overall starting. I don't really understand how it works, but it is what it is. We definitely still have some holes here on offense. The offensive line doesn't play well in simulation. I think regardless, it'll be a decent group in real life because at center, you have a few options that could be decent in Evan Brown and Olu Oluwatimi. At guard, Anthony Bradford, Phil Haynes. Like, there are options, but here, it's just not going to play super well because it isn't a great overall yet. We're going to start Langford at center and Bradford at guard because, I mean, we don't want to bench Bradford. He was our best lineman last year, but I don't know. We'll see. Other than that, there aren't really any changes here to the offense at all. Noah Fant did get superstar dev though, which is very nice. Love to see that. And then defensively, we also had some dev ups here. I think Jamal was only a superstar, so he went up to X Factor. Draymond Jones went up to superstar. We already saw that though. And then I swear there was one more. Oh yeah, Julian Love went up to star dev, which is nice. He's kind of our nickel corner / third safety, I guess. I don't know if this playbook actually plays 3 safeties ever, but I could get behind that. And then here are the specialists. Oh yeah, I didn't even mention we added Jadeveon Clowney on defense and then Brian Carter through the draft. But it's going to be Clowney and Nwosu off the edge, which is a pretty nice duo with Derek Hall as the number 3. I actually really like that. And then the rest of it is what you would expect. JSN as the slot receiver. Julian Love is the nickel corner. Sub linebacker looking like that. It's a really good looking team already with a lot of upside. So with that, let's get to the midseason point of year number 2 and see how we can do. At the midseason point of year number 2, we're actually 4-3. That's better than I thought we would be. Ooh, the Bengals are 0-7. What the fuck? But that's better than I thought we would be because we lost week 1 to the Rams, who were like a 77 overall. What's our overall now? Okay, still an 81 after I spent the upgrades, so pretty good. I mean, it's not bad. Not a bad start. Ooh, Carter has superstar dev. Okay, that's pretty huge. So now Brian Carter, Draymond Jones, and Cam Young could be a very good trio for the future. Unless we replace Cam Young, which we could. We probably will eventually. Maybe even this offseason. But for re-signings here, ooh, Noah Fant, and he's not interested at all. Very player-friendly would be 6 years, 60.6 mil. Lots of 6s on there. Maybe I shouldn't re-sign him then. Do we really need him? We just drafted that really good-looking tight end. But let's see if he takes this, and he does. Gave Noah Fant a curse contract. Uchenna Nwosu, how's he doing so far this year? He was good last year. Not amazing. Only 3 tackles for loss, only 2.5 sacks. We'll wait it out. We'll see how he finishes the year. Jordan Brooks, we probably want to bring him back because I'm guessing Wagner is going to retire, and he was good last year for sure. We're going to have to go very player-friendly more than likely, but it's only 5 years, 35.5 mil. It's not too much money. He takes it. Draymond Jones, I definitely do want back. We'll go player-friendly. He's a little bit interested, about half, little less than half. It would be 3 years, 34.2 mil. That sounds good enough to me. Shouldn't he be under contract currently? Whatever, we'll offer him this, and he takes it. Okay, cool. Damian Lewis, how's he doing this year? He's already almost 27. 7 here. That makes me feel old as shit. Only 2 sacks allowed so far, but last year was 6, which isn't great for a left guard. We'll see how he finishes the year. Devin Bush is kind of a backup right now, but he's cheap. We'll go player friendly. 3 years, 8.7 mil. He takes it. And Quandre Diggs this year, but we can't negotiate with him yet. I don't want to anyways because he's going to regress after the year and end up being cheaper, so we'll just offer him a contract then. But with that, let's get to the end of year number 2 and see how we can finish. All right, y'all know why we're here. Super quick before I reveal how we did in year number 2, be sure to drop a like and a sub if you have not already. Both of those help me out a ton. It should take you like 2 seconds. I don't remember what I set the goals as. I think it was 120 likes and not 5,100, not there yet. 3,100 subs, which again, I know it's been like a week and a half at this point, but thank you for 3K. I appreciate it a ton. And then here is a look at the defense too. Also, let me know what team to do next for a shout out whenever I rebuild the team you want me to. But overall, we're looking very solid here, up to an 82, 84 offense, 80 defense. But in year number 2, we finished 10-7, making the playoffs. Now, for some reason, the Commanders at an 80 overall went 14-3. I should use their playbooks more honestly. They seem busted. But Geno Smith was very good this year. 4,600 yards, 38 touchdowns, 11 picks. Solid completion percentage. Wish it was one higher though. Rushing, Kenneth Walker was solid. 1,200 yards, only 4.1 yards per carry though, but 16 touchdowns is definitely nice. Receiving, JSN, Jackson Smith-Njigba, was our leading receiver with 1,300 yards, 8 touchdowns for him. DK Metcalf, almost 1,200 yards, 13 touchdowns. Tyler Lockett also reached 1,000 yards with 6 touchdowns. Noah Fant, much worse than last year, but still okay. 674 yards, 5 touchdowns. Blocking was better this year. Charles Cross was pretty terrible. Dom Langford was horrible at center. Abe Lucas was solid for sure. Only 7 sacks at right tackle, which sounds like a lot, but for Madden, that's good. Damian Lewis allowed 4 sacks. Anthony Bradford with 3 ended up being our best lineman again. Arguably, Damian Lewis and Abe Lucas were pretty good. Bobby Wagner led the team in tackles with 105, 101 for Jordan Brooks. Tackles for loss, we had a ton. 14 from Brian Carter as a rookie, 11 from Jadeveon Clowney, 11 from Draymond Jones, and then 10 from Uchenna Nwosu and Cam Young. And then sacks were pretty good, pretty well spread out, like your mother is for me. 9.5 for Brian Carter and Jadeveon Clowney. They both did very well. Potential defensive rookie of the year for Brian Carter, we'll have to see. 8 sacks for Uchenna Nwosu. He was really good again. Well, I wouldn't say really good, but better than I expected him to be here. And then 7.5 sacks from Draymond Jones. Same deal with him. He's been better than I expected. Interceptions, 3 for Bobby Wagner and Devin Witherspoon led the team. 2 for Brooks and Adams, and then 1 for Woolen and Diggs. Woolen has been really disappointing so far. He just doesn't play realistically in this game. Is there a way I can turn on like plays ball in the air or something? Is that a thing? Covers the ball. Plays ball in the air. Definitely aggressive. We'll switch that on for him. But overall, good season so far. Well, I say so far, but we're pretty much at the end of it. But we still have the playoffs to go. Travis Olsen of the Falcons. What have the MVPs been so far in this rebuild? Dak Prescott at number 2. It looks like, I'm guessing, a rookie QB won MVP. Last year, same deal. Bryce Young won MVP. This is a weird fucking rebuild. Jimmy Garoppolo, Baker Mayfield up there, Jacoby Brissett. This game is amazing. Cooper Kupp wins Offensive Player of the Year. Michael Thomas on the Vikings. Could you imagine Justin Jefferson, a healthy Michael Thomas, and the receiver they drafted from USC, whose name I can't remember. Why can I not remember his name? The guy who played at Pitt. I don't know, I'm stupid. I suck with names, but could you imagine that trio? That would be disgusting. No Seahawks up there, unfortunately. I'm surprised to not see JSN. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Aaron Donald once again. The Rams cleared again, but only went 6-11. No Seahawks up there. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Travis Olsen. That's not surprising. Am I checking the right conference? Finally, we have someone up here. We have Brian Carter, of course, winning Defensive Rookie of the Year as I expected. Geno all the way down at number 5 for best QB. I'm going to check these stats again. What did Brian Olsen of the Falcons do? Oh, I think my controller disconnected. It just went all the way to the right. That was awesome. A quarterback from UL Monroe. Has there ever been a good QB from UL Monroe? I don't think so. Where was Brett Favre from? He was Southern Miss, right? So I think that's close, but not UL Monroe. He was a monster though. But overall, good year number 2, and of course we are in the playoffs. We have a first of many scenario here. We're not going to jump in just yet because it is only year 2, and I don't want this video to be 5 hours long. My controller is fucking disconnected again. I'm going to throw it. It's not even the controller. It's this stupid ass cable. But always got to play it cool here. Y'all know me, no risk, no reward, whatever, that's fine. But let's simulate this out. I don't think we're gonna win. We do have a slightly better team, but they have the home game. They have a much better record. Let's see if we can somehow get a win. And we do not. We lose 35-24, but it's only year 2. We still have 2 more years to go. So let's get into the offseason and see how much we can upgrade this team. In the Super Bowl, the Chiefs take down the Cowboys 38-27. You thought Chiefs-Eagles was like a toxic fan base duo. Get ready for Chiefs-Cowboys. Good lord. I think Eagles fans are a little overhated. I think they're psychotic, but they're not like as toxic as some fan bases are. I think these are like maybe 2 of the most toxic. Well, I don't even know if the Cowboys are toxic. They're just delusional a little bit a lot of the time. If you're a fan of one of those teams, I'm not necessarily even talking about you. I'm just talking about just the general fan, just my perception of just people that I see. Chiefs fans are toxic as shit, most of them. Cowboys just seem way too optimistic about their team, and then Eagles fans are just on some American Psycho type shit. Like, I don't know. I just insulted 3 fan bases. I'm sorry. I'm not necessarily talking about you, because if you're watching my videos, you're a fucking G, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, now I have no viewers left, so rest in peace. For re-signings, though, we definitely want Uchenna Nwosu back. We'll go player friendly. 4 years. That's not even that much money. We can afford to up it a little bit just to guarantee that he signs. 4 years, 34.4 mil. Definitely worth it. He takes it. Damian Lewis was definitely good. We'll offer him player friendly. Again, we can up it a little bit. 3 years, 32.4 mil. He re-signs. Darrell Taylor, I think he's overrated in real life. I mean, he puts up good sack numbers, but he's kind of like a Frank Clark type player where they will literally do nothing for an entire game, like not even get a pressure, and then you'll be like, oh hey, there they are for a sack in like the 4th quarter. Like, he's one of those type of players where they just do nothing and then, oh hey, sack Darrell Taylor, sack Frank Clark, you know what I mean? Quandre Diggs, I wish I could re-sign him to a 1-year deal because we do have Julian Love sitting in the wing. Is that the saying? Like, just waiting to take over? I don't know. Either way, we'll re-sign him for this. My controller fucking disconnected again. Oh, and it's not reconnecting. This is awesome, dude. But it's 2 years, 14 mil. Let's see if he takes it. He does. Beautiful. Oh, it disconnected again. Awesome. But I don't think we're gonna re-sign anybody else here. I mean, it's just backups. So I think we're chilling. But let's see what we can do in free agency with a decent amount of money to work with. Oh, ooh, there's some fun shit going on here. Hold on. Just out of curiosity, is there anyone we could cut to free up a bit of money? No. Well, Brian Monet we could. He's a fine player, but he's nothing special. Definitely not worth 6 mil at this point. More of like a 3rd or 4th defensive tackle, not a number 1 like he currently is for the Seahawks. I still have no idea why they didn't address interior defensive line more, but I don't know. It is what it is. I do think I want to steal a division rival though, whether we need him or not. And what else do we need? We might want to look for a center because Langford was terrible there. We might just trade him already. Ooh, Devin Witherspoon went up to X Factor. That's crazy. No other dev-ups though. I think maybe a defensive tackle would be nice, but in terms of run defense, Cam Young has been solid. A lot of tackles for loss. We could look for a corner, but really we play Julian Love there, so we're probably good. We don't really have many needs. It's just, I don't know, kind of upgrading the players we already have. Are there any defensive tackles here though? Yes, there are, but Ed Oliver isn't a great fit as a nose tackle, and I've gotten him a lot in rebuilds lately. However, Grover Stewart could be kind of fun. He is older. I normally don't go for older players, but we're a pretty good team already, and this would be an 11 overall upgrade. I mean, that's a pretty big one, so that sounds good to me. But I think that's really all we're gonna do in free agency. We'll see if we can get either of these players. 2 pretty big front 7 players, both gonna be playing on the defensive line, so Nick Bosa and Grover Stewart. Do we really even need Nick Bosa? I mean, he would be replacing Uchenna Nwosu, and Uchenna Nwosu's been good. I don't know that we need to do this. It might be better to just save the money for next year, but also it would be fun. I'm really conflicted. Nah, fuck it. It's the more fun thing to do. Let's go for Nick Bosa and Grover Stewart. Okay, Nick Bosa rejects us anyways. It wasn't meant to be. I'm surprised he rejected us. He signed with the Chiefs. We had a higher offer. I don't understand how that gets rejected. I've explained this many times before. The top offers thing takes everything into account. There should be no way that a player rejects the top offer because it's not just the money. It takes like personal interest, like playoff potential, coaches, past success, hometown closeness, I guess, and the money and all that into account. It doesn't make sense that the player wouldn't go with the best offer because it's already taking everything into account that it could be. So I don't know. It's weird, but I'm fine with it. We get Grover Stewart. That's really all we need. There was Connor Williams available in free agency. I was thinking about getting him to play center for us, but he doesn't do well in this game. So I was like, So we might look for a center. We might trade Langford away just because he was so ass last year and just draft an actual center. But with that, this team is looking really nice. And let's see what we can do in the draft. All right, here we're going to be trading Dom Langford and a 7th for a 2nd round pick from the Colts. I mean, I think we spent a 2nd round pick on him, so we're essentially just getting back what we spent in a future year. So we're kind of ripping ourselves off a little bit, but Dom Langford was awful. And I want to get an actual center because he was only like a 71 overall at center. So maybe a weird move because we're giving up a decent overall, really young player for only a 2nd round pick when we spent a 2nd round pick on him. But I think it makes sense if you ignore it not making sense. Just work with me, okay? I have a vision. So here in the draft, the Dolphins have the number 1 overall pick. We don't pick until number 22, of course. But what do we want to do here? I actually have no idea. I don't know. We could go with a corner, maybe. Let's go Alex James. Good speed, solid strength. Overall, just decent combine. Good zone player, which I actually want because if I go slot, it'll upgrade their man coverage a ton, so then he'll be good at zone and man coverage. He's only 5'9", though, so not the tallest corner ever, but let's take him. Normal dev, really? That's really surprising. I thought he would almost guaranteed have hidden, but I guess he'll be a good 3rd corner when Julian Love isn't playing corner. I don't know. He might get on the field, he might not. We'll see. This linebacker looks pretty good. Ooh. I don't really know that we need a linebacker at all, but he does look nice. Good awareness, really good play rec, good hit power. I don't think his coverage is that good though, but it'll still probably be around like a 60 zone 55 man, which isn't good, but could be worse, I guess. Either that or we go with like a defensive tackle. I could do that. And no, I like how that linebacker looks. Let's take him. Cameron McMichael out of UCLA, only 21 years old. He does have hidden dev, good speed, good strength. I like that pick. He wasn't the biggest need, but I like it. And here let's go with an actual center in Cole Wiggins. He's 6'2", 305, 22 years old, left-handed just like me for real, out of Washington State. Didn't even know that he was from Washington State, but that makes me like him more. Really fast. Damn, okay. I didn't know that. I didn't even check most of his stats. I just focus scouted him and he looked decent. Not much power to his game, but really good finesse. Let's take him. Hidden dev, 85 strength, 76 speed though. Really athletic center. I like the pick. And with this last pick that I'm gonna take, we're in the 3rd round. There's still a 1st round receiver left. That ran a 4.27, a 4.25 at his pro day. Good vertical jump, a deep route. Might as well take a chance. Normal dev, but 99 speed. That might be a good pick. We'll see. Even if it isn't, it's the 3rd round. Who cares? I mean, in real life, that's valuable, but here, I mean, we're really not gonna get much. We honestly had a really good draft. Alex James is a 74 overall. Of course, no dev trait for him, unfortunately, but very good zone corner, very good speed too, and we'll be able to get his man coverage up, so he could become really good. I like that pick a lot. Cameron McMichael, the linebacker, is a 75. Of course, with the hidden dev as well. I was pretty spot on with his coverage. It was 61 man, 54s, or 61 zone, 54 man. I guessed 60 zone, 55 man, so pretty good there. Really good speed though, decent strength. Just really good run defending linebacker is gonna be like our 4th guy though. Cole Wiggins, the center, is gonna start for us. He is a 73 overall, obviously hidden dev, really good finesse overall. I like him a lot. And then the Dorian Clancy guy definitely deserved to fall. He's only a 66 overall. Of course, no dev trait. And then the CPU did all right. We already have so many corners, but they took a 68 overall one. He looks fine. I don't even know if he's gonna make the team. He probably will because he's only 21, but good draft overall. I'm happy with it, and we have a really nice looking team already. Jesus, Tyler Lockett's trying to make JSN a Hall of Famer or something. Another mentorship for Jackson Smith and Jigba though. We'll just go however you can help again. It's the safe option, even though it isn't too much XP, but it works. All right, here is a look at the team heading into year number 3 of the rebuild. No major changes here on offense, but we did add Cole Wiggins at center through the draft. Is going to be our starter this year. Hopefully plays better than our center did last year, but literally everything else here on offense is the same. game. We did pick up Mason Rudolph, so shout out to Remake for harassing me to do a Mason Rudolph rebuild in every single goddamn video. If Mason Rudolph somehow becomes a starter, then for sure, but until then, I don't know. Not really the most relevant QB in the league currently, but I respect the commitment. And then on defense, not too many changes. We did add Grover Stewart, also picked up Aleem McNeil, just chilling in free agency. And then through the draft, we added Alex James at corner. I don't even know if he's going to get much playing time with us because I think we're going to start Julian Love in the slot still. And then I need to rearrange the specialists. I want Clowney as a rush end. So I'll fix this. I'll get this the way I want it. But with that, let's get to the midseason point of year 3 and see how this team can do. Damn, okay. At the midseason point of year number 3, we are 6-1. Nice. Normally, the Seahawks do terribly in Madden simulation. Apparently, they just need my special touch, you know what I'm saying? And your mom loves my special touch. She knows a lot about it. But for re-signings here, we definitely do want Mr. Heno Smith back. 27.5 mil is not too much at all. But we're only going to be here 1 year. I was going to up it, but we're only going to be here 1 more year. I could up the money a little bit, but I don't even know if we need to. We'll just offer him neutral. 1 year, 27.5 mil. He takes it. His play has been worth way more than that, though, so definitely a good deal for us. I want Julian Love back for sure. We can't negotiate with him until week 9, though. There are just a lot of depth players here. I mean, even right now, technically, Julian Love is a depth player too. Well, I guess not really because he starts in the nickel, so I guess he is a starter. And then these 2 players, if I do re-sign them, I'll probably just re-sign them after the year because they'll regress and be cheaper. But with that, let's get to the end of year 3 and see how we can finish. All right, well, it's tradition at this point. Y'all know why we're here. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, all that good shit. Let me know what team to do next. Takes you like 10 seconds. I don't know. But this is a look at the team at the end of year number 3. Here is the defense. Looking very nice. We have Witherspoon up to an 87 overall, obviously with X Factor. Brian Carter up to an 83, 84 with morale. This is a very nice looking team. Up to an 84 overall, 85 offense, 84 defense. But we finished 10-7 once again, making the playoffs. Now, it's going to be a tough first game because we're going to be taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Now, they're only 9-8, but they do have an 84 overall team. So on paper, they're definitely not weak. We do have the better record and the home game, but of course, there are no guarantees. We'll see what happens. But let's check out some of the season stats. Mr. Heno Smith, 4,300 yards, 37 touchdowns, 9 picks. Finally, 69% completion percentage. Big nice there. Kenneth Walker was very good. Almost 15, well, I say almost 15, but a little over 1,400 yards, 4.6 yards per carry, 17 touchdowns. Very nice. Even Zach Charbonnet with 7 touchdowns. He hasn't done a whole lot this rebuild, but he hasn't gotten much opportunity. DK Metcalf with almost 1,100 yards, 5 touchdowns. JSN with 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns. Not as much passing this year. Tyler Lockett with 960 yards, 8 touchdowns. Noah Fant with 800 yards, 6 touchdowns. Blocking, Charles Cross has been pretty terrible. Damian Lewis wasn't that good this year, but Abe Lucas was very good. Only 5 sacks allowed from the right tackle position. Anthony Bradford wasn't amazing. 4 sacks at right guard. Cole Wiggins was good as a rookie. Hell of a lot better than the guy we had last year. And on defense, tackles, Bobby Wagner led the team with 143. Jordan Brooks with 123 and 101 for Jamal Adams. My controller disconnected. I'm going to cry. Tackles for loss, we had 18 from Chenna Nwosu, 15 from each Jadeveon Clowney and Brian Carter, 12 from Grover Stewart, and 10 from Jordan Brooks. And sacks, we did pretty terribly, honestly. Chenna with 10.5 was really good. He had a nice season, but only 5 from Draymond Jones was number 2, only 4 from Brian Carter, only 3.5 from Jadeveon Clowney. Not great. Only 1.5 from Grover Stewart, but he's more of a run defender anyways. In interceptions, we had 4 from Jamal Adams, 3 for Quandre Diggs, 2 for Bobby Wagner, and 1 for Julian Love. Still only 1, oh my god, my controller, 1 interception for Tariq Woolen throughout the entire rebuild. 0 the first year, 1 last year, 0 this year. This game is stupid. I hate it. But yearly awards, Travis Olsen of the Falcons wins MVP again, already up to a 96 overall. Sam Howell at number 3. Good lord. No Seahawks up here, no Geno. Offensive player of the year goes to the white boy Cooper Kupp as per usual. Kenneth Walker at number 9. Defensive player of the year goes to Aaron Donald. Chenna Nwosu at number 10. David York of the Lions wins offensive rookie of the year. No Seahawks. Defensive rookie of the year goes to Ronnie Mason Jason of the Vikings. No Seahawks. So I would actually classify this as a disappointing year. I don't know what the hell happened to our defense, but it was not good. Points per game, we were 19th. Our run defense was good, but our pass defense was meh. And overall, we scored like a decent amount of points, or we got a decent amount of points scored on us. And honestly, for pass and rush yards per game, we were pretty low too. It's just we scored a lot. So I don't know. Weird year. I don't know if we're going to win this game, but we have a one last hurrah. This is probably going to be Bobby Wagner, if I had to guess. I don't know who else it would be. Yeah, it's Bobby Wagner. So, you know, he's older anyways. He's a lower overall now. It's going to be plus 10 morale for every player. We're probably not going to win this anyways, like I was saying. But we have a first of many scenario before we jump in against the Cowboys here. Always gotta play it cool, you know what I mean? But let's jump in and see if we can take them down. If I had to guess, probably not, but you never know. Oh, yes, Nick Chubb. Okay, it was showing a picture of Tom Brady and it said Nick Chubb. Oh, yes, Derwin. Okay, there we go. But here we go in the wild card. Of course, it is a home game for us, but let's simulate this game out and see if we can get a win. We go up early 7-0, but the Cowboys do tie it at 7, and they drive and get a field goal in the second quarter. We get a touchdown, though. We're up 14-10. The Cowboys drive and do get a touchdown, but we match it with a touchdown. We're up 21-17, now 28-17. The Cowboys get a touchdown and a 2-point, though. They're within 3, but we get a touchdown. We go up 35-28 now, but the Cowboys do tie it late. However, it looks like we kick a field goal in overtime after we each had a possession, and we win 38-35 in a very high scoring game. Well, not very high scoring, but you know what I mean. What a quarterback duel, though. Good lord. But ultimately, Geno looks like he did outplay him, I guess. Just more touchdowns, less interceptions, less yards, though. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I don't think he wrote back yet. He's still looking pretty good. Now that I said that, he's going to be awful in the next game. He's going to throw 0 touchdowns, 5 picks, 94 total yards. Not going to be great. But we have a recap for the one last hurrah. I'm guessing this is going to be 10 more morale to every player, if it wants to load, of course. So yeah, 10 more morale for everybody. You'll love to see it. Does it give 10 more morale to Bobby Wagner too? I don't know. It might. And then a recap for the first of many. Give us that sweet, juicy staff points. I like it sweet and juicy. Just ask your mother. But we're going to be taking on the team that took us out of the playoffs last year in the Washington Commanders. We have the better team. We're at home. It's basically a death sentence in Madden. If you have the better team, you're fucked. If you do well and rebuild a good team, good luck, buddy. You're going to the Shadow Realm, because this game hates realism. Fucking draw 25 or be realistic. This game is drawn 25 10 times out of 10. But let's jump in against the communists and see if we can get a win. Call us whoever officially took down the USSR. I should know more history than I do. But here we go in the wild card. Nope, it's the divisional now. I'm stupid. Ignore me. And let's see if we can take down the Commanders. It is a night game here, but we go up early 3-0. However, they take the lead at 7-3. It is the second quarter. They kick a field goal. We're not doing anything here on offense. As I say that, we score a touchdown, but so do they. It is 17-17 in the third quarter. Not as much scoring here as in the last game. But yeah, no, we're not doing anything. They kick a field goal, but we drive and do get a touchdown late, and that's going to be enough. We win 24-20. It looked like the Commanders were celebrating. That was weird. But another great game from Geno Smith, it looks like. And we're on to the conference championship. Upgrade for Cole Wiggins here. You love to see it. And another recap for the one last hurrah. Of course, give us that sweet, juicy plus 10 morale. I don't know why that's my favorite thing to say in this rebuild, but it is. One more, coach. Yeah, well, no, it's 2 more. Oh, I guess 1 more to be in the Super Bowl, I guess. But yeah, plus 10 morale for all players. What's the team looking like? I actually want to check. We're probably a pretty decent overall now. Yeah, like plus 3s and 4s for almost every single player. Good lord. This team is nasty now. Thank you, Bobby Wagner, for being old. I very much appreciate it. Ooh, this is where we lose. We're going to be taking on the 8-9 San Francisco 49ers. But we have a playoff rivals scenario here. Let's go. I feel like this would be a hard-hitting brawl. Let's go with that. Plus 5 hit power for all players. Sounds good to me. And let's jump in against the 49ers. But here we go in the conference championship. A rainy game, looking like another night game. Let's simulate this out and see if we can get a win and move on to the Super Bowl. So we go up early 7-0. However, the 49ers are driving, but they do not score. They do get the ball again, and they do get a touchdown, but we match it with another touchdown and a field goal. We're up 17-7, now 24-7 in the third quarter. Their offense isn't doing too much, but neither is ours, to be fair. We do kick a field goal, though. We're up 27-7. It looks like they're just giving us the ball in the red zone. If they didn't, that would have been a lot closer of a game. I don't think we would have scored too much, but we do smoke them 27-7. Rest in piss, 40 whiners. And Mr. Overrated check down himself, Brock Purdy. There's the Jalen Ramsey meat pick. I don't want to look at it. But another one last hurrah scenario. Give us more morale. Let's go, Bobby. Plus 15 morale. I forgot it does that if you make the Super Bowl. I'm really curious to see who we're going to be taking on, and we have a playoff rivals recap scenario thingy. Nobody speaks like that. I say that every time I see it. This little pit. No, nobody would say that. At least not unironically. I might say it ironically, but that's about it. Maybe. Plus 5 hit power for the next game. Plus 5 staff points. I feel like it should be a bigger thing than that, but we'll take it. And let's see who we're going to be taking on in the Super Bowl. The 12-5 Miami Dolphins. This is going to be a tough team. We do have a slightly better overall team, but they have a much better defense. But we have a much better offense, to be fair. So we'll see how that goes. But we've seen good defenses versus good offenses before. I mean, 2013 Seahawks Broncos. It didn't go too pretty for the Broncos there, who had like the best offense of all time. I'm pretty sure. It's weird. That's the second time I've mentioned that team throughout this rebuild because I mentioned 2013 Peyton Manning. I don't know. Either way, one last hurrah once again. Is this going to give us more morale? I mean, it already gave us some for making the Super Bowl. It's going to max it out, right? Isn't that what it does? So what's the point of giving us plus 15? Oh, it's just saying that he'll retire. It's not giving us a maxed out morale thing. I see. But we have a Super Bowl Media Day thing here. And I actually want to check if we got any dev-ups. Just the beginning, I guess, technically, because we still have one more year. Plus 10 staff points, though. Love to see that. And let me check the team out. So Kenneth Walker does get Superstar Dev, which is very nice, but nobody else on offense. I'm surprised Gino hasn't gotten a dev up, to be fair. And on defense, Nwosu got a dev up. He went up to Superstar Dev, and Julian Love went up to Superstar Dev. So pretty huge ones there, honestly. Other than that, I think that is it. So with that, let's jump into the Super Bowl and see if we can take down the Dolphins. So here we go in the Super Bowl in AT&T Stadium or whatever it's called. And let's see if we can get a Super Bowl win. We go up early 7-0, but the Dolphins do get a field goal and they get a touchdown and they get another one. Not looking good. We drive and get a field goal. We stop them. We're driving and we do get a touchdown to tie it up going into the third quarter. The Dolphins are scoring like back to back to back to back to back every time they get the ball. I don't think we're going to win this one, honestly. We do get a field goal, but it is too little too late. The Dolphins beat us 34-27. It seems like whenever you do lose a playoff game, it seems like it's because the team you're going against just like scores 3 times within like 2 seconds for some reason. I don't know how that happens, but it sucks. But we do lose the Super Bowl with a better team, but it is what it is. So of course that means Bobby Wagner is gonna retire. Unfortunate, but he was lower in overall anyways. We have players waiting to replace him, so it'll all work out. I'm also kind of thinking about a defensive playbook change because our defense just hasn't been that great. Oh, Bobby Wagner didn't retire? Okay. Maybe because I didn't click the scenario after the Super Bowl. I didn't know you had to do that, but that might be why. That's odd. But for re-signings here, what do we got? So Bobby Wagner, of course, does need a new contract. We'll give it to him to be like our third linebacker. It's 1 year, 5.7 mil. That's not too bad. He takes it. Thought he was going to retire, but apparently he lied to us. Julian Love, we definitely want back. 5 years, 32 mil. He takes it. That's a pretty cheap contract for someone that's been really good. And then it's just a lot of depth pieces down here. Do we want Grover Stewart back? I mean, he was pretty good, but there might be someone better in free agency, so let's see who we can go after. In free agency, there isn't honestly as much as I expected. I guess we can go after like Michael Pierce, but the Falcons are really interested too. We could go for like Tier Tart or something. I don't know. We're going like all defense here in free agency. We're going to be going after Michael Pierce, who would be a decent upgrade to Grover Stewart. We do only have like, we're only tied for the lead for him though with the Falcons. We don't have like a for sure lead. We're also going for Byron Murphy to be our new nickel corner. I think we're just going to play Julian Love at free safety. Diggs regressed down to like a 78, so Love will be the new free safety, and then Byron Murphy will be the new nickel. And then if my controller, Jesus Christ. Okay, we're also going to be going after Khalil Mack. Jadeveon Clowney was pretty terrible last year. The problem with Khalil Mack is even though we went very player friendly, we're tied with like 12 teams for the lead. So I don't think we're going to get him, but we will sure try. So Michael Pierce, Byron Murphy, and Khalil Mack. Let's see if any of them sign with us. They all sign, and we get all three. I did not expect that. I thought we would get Byron Murphy and maybe Michael Pierce. I did not think we would get Khalil Mack, but we will definitely take it. I can't wait for him to get 2 sacks and somehow break his leg, even though injuries are off. It'll be great. So we're going to go for a super quick year 4. Hopefully we can make a deep playoff run again. We do have the 31st overall pick, of course, because we were in the Super Bowl. Wish we could have won it, but it is what it is. I have no idea what we want to do here. We don't really have needs anymore. Even like depth, we're pretty good. The only thing we don't really have is like a 4th receiver. So, ooh, this Reggie Graham guy is good. He looks like a better version of the guy we drafted last year, because Reggie Graham actually has good spec catch, good catch in traffic, good release, decent catching, decent awareness. So he might actually be a good player. So let's take him. Hidden dev, 98 speed. You love to see it. So that'll be an elite 4th receiver. And now I have no idea what we even need at all. All right, this is probably gonna be the last draft pick of the rebuild. Mike Boren. Hopefully his play isn't too boring. You know what I mean? That was a stupid ass joke, but his combine was very good. Definitely was not boring. A's across the board. Bad power, but that's fine. Looks like a really good player. Let's take him. Of course he has normal dev, but very athletic player. That seems like a good pick. And now let's just simulate the rest out and see how the CPU can do. Probably gonna draft like 5 corners. Ooh, the 2 picks I did take were really good ones. Reggie Graham is a 77 overall to be our 4th receiver. That had to have been one of the best players in the class, right? Ooh, there was an 83 overall receiver. Josh Ryans, did he have a good dev trait? No, he had star. Okay, I kind of had a feeling. A lot of the time, the really good players don't have good dev traits for whatever reason. I mean, star is fine. Wait. Okay, Reggie Graham was the number 2 player in the class, but look where the top 2 guys were both from. What was Oklahoma's receiving corps? The 2 best players in the class were their 2 receivers, and they both made sense. Reggie Graham was their deep threat. Josh Ryans was their jump ball kind of guy. Oh my God. What was Alabama, or why do I keep saying Alabama? What was Oklahoma cooking? Good Lord. I said that about as white as I possibly could have, but oh well. And then Mike Boren was not a Boren pick. Okay, that's the last joke. If you could even call it a joke, it's just stupid. But he has really good finesse. He's a 73 overall, which is fine. He'll be a very, very good backup. Was ranked number 29 for centers, so could start for some teams. Then the CPU thought we needed a running back. He's not very good. He is a 69 overall, so nice, but he isn't very good, so that's not nice. And it went pretty much all offense for us. A shitty, like, 4th string tight end, an okay, not super great receiver, and a running back who was better than the one it took in the 3rd round, Victor Harris, at a 70 overall. So we did well. I don't know what the CPU was doing, but we did pretty well. Finally, Tyler Lockett is not mentoring JSN. I kind of wish it was at this point, just to keep it 4 for 4, but it's going to be Reggie Graham that Lockett is mentoring. We'll go deep threat just to upgrade his, well, it's a scheme fit for us, and it's what he is anyways. He's a deep threat, so +2 release, +2 deep route. You'll love to see it. So here's a look at the team heading into the 4th and final year of the rebuild. We're looking very good here. Honestly, every single starter here on offense is a Seahawks player, except for Cole Wiggins. That's weird. That's weird how that worked out, but I guess they do have a pretty good baseline of players. I mean, it makes sense. Geno's been playing well here. Kenneth Walker, young player, makes sense that he stuck around. All the receivers, good players. JSN is very young. The O-line is what's more surprising to me, that there was only 1 change there, but everyone's been playing well except for Charles Cross. Tight ends makes sense, because Noah Fant got a dev up. I mean, it makes sense, but it's definitely weird to me. And then defensively is definitely where we had a bit more shakeup, but there are still a lot of Seahawks players here. We do have a lot of dev traits here too. I think every starter on the team has a dev trait except for Abe Lucas. And on defense, the dev traits are really nice. We have 3 X Factors, 4 Superstars, I guess 5 actually, so we're looking really good. Devin Witherspoon almost at a 90 overall. In this offseason, we obviously added Khalil Mack, Michael Pierce, Byron Murphy, so we'll have to see what we can get from those 3. We'll see how Julian Love does as the starting free safety. And then here are the specialists, just exactly what you would expect. Byron Murphy in the slot, JSN as our slot receiver, Mack and Nwosu off the edge, Carter is the rush defensive tackle, McMichael's going to be our number 1 linebacker. I want to try to develop him this year. Jordan Brooks as the 2, Wagner as the 3. So I'm really excited to see how this team can do. So with that, let's get to the end of year number 4 and see how we can finish. All right, well, as is tradition, here we are at the end of year number 4. Again, like, subscribe, you already know all that. I'm sure you have by now if you've made it all the way here. But here's how we're looking at the end of year 4. Gino went up to superstar? I don't know how. It does not want to show us his health. It froze. Fair enough. Does it tell you? No, I can only go back to week 14. I don't even know if it would tell me. Can it do like breakout scenarios on its own? I thought you had to like click on them to trigger them. But we'll definitely take that unless he got it in like the off season last year and I just didn't check out. No, because I checked before the season. I don't know. Weird stuff. But here's a look at our defense too. Some nice development throughout here. But we finished 11-6, making the playoffs. Now let's check out how the team did. Gino with another very, very good season. 4,400 yards, 38 touchdowns, 11 picks, 71% completion percentage. And I actually want to see now, what are his career stats looking? Oh, we have Kirk Cousins as the backup. I was like, wait a minute. But overall, 24,800 yards, 187 touchdowns, 88 picks. Lots of 8s in there. Overall, pretty good. Kenneth Walker with 1,400 yards, 4.5 yards per carry, 12 touchdowns. Pretty good year from him. We had 3 1,000-yard receivers, all barely reaching 1,000 yards. Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and JSN. Not many touchdowns for the top guys, though. Where did all the touchdowns come from? I guess just some, like, Reggie Graham had 4, but only 100 yards. Kenneth Walker had 5, but only 180 yards. I guess that's where they all went. This still doesn't look like it equals 38, though. Am I, like, tripping? I guess it must equal 38. I don't know. But Noah Fant, 963 yards and 9 touchdowns. Nice, I guess. Blocking was really good from the tackles. Cross only allowed 8 sacks, which would be high for real life, but good here. Contract expiring. That's why he played well. Well, good thing we don't have to worry about re-signing anyone else. Abe Lucas was very good. The interior wasn't great, though. Damian Lewis was good, but Wiggins and Bradford were just okay. Maybe a little below average. Cameron McMichael led the team with 126 tackles, 108 for Jordan Brooks. Tackles for loss, we had 10 from Brian Carter and Michael Pierce. In sacks, Khalil Mack was definitely a good decision. 12 from him, 9.5 from Brian Carter, 9 from Chenna Nwosu, and 7.5 from Michael Pierce. Only 4.5 for Draymond Jones. It looks like he didn't get on the field that much, though. Interceptions, Cameron McMichael had a really good overall year. 3 for him, 3 for Jamal Adams, and then 1 for a few players. Chenna Nwosu got as many interceptions throughout the rebuild with 1 as Tariq Woolen did. He had 1. This game blows. That makes no sense. MVP goes to Patrick Mahomes. That Travis Olsen guy's up to a 99. I'm guessing he has X Factor too. Aaron Rodgers is still around, really? At probably like 41 or 2 years old here. Still on the Jets too. That's fucking crazy. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Chris Godwin. Cooper Kupp at 3. The white boy did not win it this year. No Seahawks up there. Defensive Player of the Year goes to James Wilson of the Rams. Whoever the fuck that is. No Seahawks. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Henry Hunt. That sounds like one of those Mike Hunt jokes, if you could call them that. Now we have like 30 Josh Jacksons in the league. Great. Reggie Graham was at number 6. No other Seahawks. And Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Carl Klein of the Rams. No Seahawks. What the fuck did that Rams guy do? Probably like 25 sacks or something stupid. Well, 13.5. Definitely really good. 26 tackles for loss. Not as crazy of a season as I thought it would be, but it's still a very good season. So yay, they have a new Aaron Donald. That's fun. It looks like our offense wasn't that good this year, though. Hold on. Yeah, we were only... Wait, I didn't change any of the playbooks, but this year, our offense was mid, but our defense was really good. We had the best defense in the NFL in terms of scoring, but our offense was 16th, so I don't fucking know what the deal is there. But with that, there really isn't much else for us to do here, but let's jump in against the New York Giants and see if we can get a win. This shit taking forever to load. Oh my god. Yes, Dak Prescott. Ooh, I'm lagging. But here we go in the wild card against the New York Giants, a much worse team. I can't wait to lose. They were literally 7-10. I didn't even mention that. They were 7-10 and made the playoffs, but let's simulate this out and inevitably lose. They go up early 3-0, but we do get a touchdown. They do match that touchdown though, but we get another one. We're up 14-10 in the second quarter. We score again. We're up 21-10 and the scoring stop. No, we go up 28-10. They do get a touchdown and a field goal, so we're only up by 8, but we get a field goal. We're up 31-20. They match it. We're up 31-23. Lots of different scoring going on here, but we win 34-23. What was that Giants player doing with his head? He was like bobbing it back and forth like your mother does on my schmeat. That was aggressive. I'm sorry, but we get the win. Jared Goff was their QB. Of course he was. Why wouldn't he be? That's fun. So we're actually going to be taking on the Lions here in the divisional round of the playoffs. We do have some upgrades before we get in here, though. Pretty big ones on defense. Devin Witherspoon and Cameron McMichael. But the Lions do have an 84 overall team. We are better. They do actually have a better offense than us at an 88 overall, but we have the better overall team, a much better defense. So with that, there isn't really much else for us to do, and let's jump in and see if we can get a win. Here we go against the Lions in the divisional. Low-key don't have a good feeling about this, but we'll see how it goes. Not much scoring in the first quarter. We do finally put up a field goal, but they put up a touchdown. We do match it, though. We're up 10-7, now 13-7. They put up a field goal, though. We're up 13-10. Not much scoring, but they do put up a touchdown and another one. They go up 24-13. We put up a field goal, but it's not going to be enough. Our offense is not doing very well here, and we lose 37-16 to a much worse team while we're at home. Who would have guessed? The scoring chart is depressing. Good lord. But of course, that's going to be the end of today's rebuild. We'll get one last look at the team here, but again, if you enjoyed, like, subscribe. Takes you like 2 seconds, helps me out a ton. And turn on notifications for the channel so you can get notified whenever I upload these. I try to upload them Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday around 2 to 4 p.m. Again, 3,100 subs, 120 likes, and I'll have another one of these out on Tuesday. But I really hope you enjoyed. This is a really, really nice team. But with that, I'll see y'all again in the next video. Goodbye.